Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the toilet, this movie appears. Let's get into it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of another FrightFest movie that premiered at their festival, and this is called Scared Shitless. It used to be a short film that they turned into a feature film. This feature film is directed by Viviano Caldanelli, who actually did Portal to Hell, which you may remember is the Rowdy Piper gore-fest comedy movie. He was like a superintendent slash maintenance guy in a building. Well, this is kind of similar. It's not too far off the beaten path of that movie, and so it kind of makes sense that he directed this. Now, the story is technically by Brandon Cohen, who wrote the short story and then turned it into a full feature-length script, which now they have a different director, which I mentioned is Viviano Caldanelli. Steven Kostanski did the creature effects design on this one. If you remember him, he's the guy that did Psycho Gorman, Frankie Frico, and many more. He's a practical effects guy, and we actually talked to him for the last Fantasia Fest. So what is it about? Well, it's about this man named Don, who is a plumber, and he has a son that's an extreme germophobe. In fact, he's such a germophobe that he's afraid he's going to die. So, in a way to try to help his son, he decides to take his son to work and have him work with him to get his hands dirty in some plumbing and some other shit. Literally. You get it. Okay. Anyway. So they take a call to go to a building to fix a regular plumbing problem in an apartment complex with an old lady, and their world turns upside down when they're faced with a genetically engineered, bloodthirsty creature that has been set loose in the apartment plumbing and killing everyone, one toilet at a time. Now, Stephen Ogg is in this movie, and I love him. He was in another movie I watched recently that I did a review on called Dark Match, so it's nice to see him return in this one. If you want to watch that review, check it out. We also get Mark McKinney in here, who was from Superstore. You know, hey guys, welcome to the Superstore. You always talk like this. Like Kermit the Frog or something. But he's a great comedian. And we even get Julian Richings in here for a nice cameo. But there's other people in the movie, but for the most part, that's them. The son is played by Daniel Doney, and this girl named Chelsea Clark is one of the ladies who works at the building, trying to solve the mystery of what this creature is until things get worse. And we follow these two into the building, and they basically get into a really sticky situation that turns really, really sour very quickly and into a bloody good time. Another thing that's really cool about this movie is that Blitz Berlin did the soundtrack or the score to the movie. They've done a lot of work on like The Void and Psycho Gorman and quite a few others. Plus, it's got an 80s and 70s soundtrack of Canadian rock bands. And so you got like Loverboy, Harlequin, the Stampeders, Doug and the Slugs. Interesting combination of songs. This is a movie that's a comedy, obviously, but it's not going to be the funniest thing I've seen all year. It did take a little bit of time to get to some of the parts where it was like super funny to me, and I attribute a lot of that to kind of the son and the father kind of going off each other, which is Stephen Ogg and Daniel Doney. Stephen Ogg has this way about him that he delivers some of these lines in the movie that are so blasé, so like matter of fact, that it really just kind of makes you laugh. Now, this is an over-the-top movie, but they're not trying to jam a joke in every 5 seconds, and it is very self-aware. And for that reason, I think this movie is much more fun that way, because when they try to take themselves too seriously and take too many jokes out, it kind of gets a little too much. It did take a while, like I said, to the beginning of the movie to kind of get to the parts where I started to laugh, but when I did, I was by myself and I was laughing pretty heartily. They're ridiculous jokes. Ridiculous jokes. You'll get that one when you see this movie. This is a lot of really poor humor that is kind of shoved into this movie with a lot of sexually charged kind of innuendo and some situations that were really just kind of silly, but nothing too bad. It's just potty humor. Look, I'm sorry guys, I have to make these fucking jokes. They're just coming to me. It's just so easy. Anyway, the movie isn't the funniest thing I've ever seen, but it is really funny at many times, and I had a good time watching it. The gore is pretty great. Steven Kostanski's creature design is pretty fun, and like where this movie goes is also pretty fun. You can't take it seriously. You're just there to have a good time. And I think because this movie is aware of itself, and because I did have a good time, I would say for this style of movie, and not comparing it to like Hereditary, it's definitely doing what it set out to do. But I think it's probably about a 7, maybe even a 7.5 out of 10 for a comedy that is funny enough, but a lot of fun to watch and a lot of gore to indulge in. You'll enjoy it for the most part, I think. And you know, I could have given it an 8, but shit happens. Sorry. I would put this in my collection for sure. And if you haven't seen it yet, well, it's going to be coming out in the near future. Now, this movie doesn't have a release date, but I'm sure we'll find it on one of our streaming services at some point here in the near future, and maybe even on Blu-ray and DVD, I hope. Congratulations on the film. Thank you, FrightFest and Scared Shitless, for allowing me to preview your fine, disgusting toilet potty humor film. I enjoyed it, and it was a nice change of pace from all the other films that I've seen at the festival. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, what do you guys think? Are you gonna check it out when it comes out? Are you a Stephen Ogg fan? Do you like Mark McKinney? Have you ever seen any of the other films like Portal to Hell? I would love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button and the little bell notification, because if you don't, then the world will explode and this was all for nothing. Anyway, thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.